vola anguela o veteronugu, ako itabua. Ako do talitaina na barongo na Bula FM, nambandu na sere.
Bula, alang gonoa, ilutoka do talita ka ng Bula FM berarti ni nambandu na sere.
Ni Bula binaka, nanreke ngo sa Bula FM nga. Na kasi.
Nalang go sa mundo atibio ng Bula FM nambandu na sere nusuri.
Ni Bula binaka, nalang go Jerry, yang melambasa. Do barongo nga na Bula FM, nambandu.
Bula FM, nambandu na sere.
In the news tonight, 6 killed by meningococcal. Kava consumption tops church meeting agenda. And prominent Suva lawyer remanded in custody.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spade.
6 Fijians have now died from meningococcal disease. The Ministry of Health says the most recent victims were 2 adults and a 4-year-old child who died this month. Health Minister Dr. Firemi Wanganambete is urging anyone with symptoms such as a sudden fever, vomiting and a red and purple rash to get medical assistance. Maggie Boyle with the story.
Meningococcal disease has now killed 2 children and 4 adults.
This year we've had 6 deaths from meningococcal disease.
The ministry is highlighting how it's spread and what you can do to prevent it.
People who work with someone who is diagnosed with meningococcal disease are not at higher risk of getting the disease. It is very close contact. So we advise anybody that to prevent yourself from getting meningococcal disease, don't share drinking glasses, don't share water bottles. If you're having kava, make sure you have your own bowl, things like that, and basic hygiene measures.
The health minister reiterated the necessity of getting immediate medical attention on sign of symptoms.
The advisory and the issues around meningococcus and encouraging the public, when somebody is sick, to visit the hospital and come early rather than later, that remains.
Last year, 85 people were successfully treated for the deadly infection and 6 succumbed to the disease. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The Health Ministry is rolling out a new strategy to curb communicable diseases with practical prevention measures. Minister Dr. Firemi Wanganambete says the strategy will have the ministry participating proactively in mass gatherings. He says last week throughout the Methodist Church annual conference in Suva, their health inspectors worked with organisers on raising awareness of prevention measures for several diseases such as typhoid, dengue and leptospirosis. Dr. Firemi says the teams also carried out early morning spraying and held a post-conference debrief.
We've been saying all along, that if anybody is sick, feels unwell, they should present themselves to the hospital. And we now live in a time where there's issues around climate change. I was talking to my colleagues from the Caribbean countries. One of them from I think it was Grenada, he said normally they have dengue fever for 4 months. But they've had dengue fever for 4 years because it's unusually wet in the seasons that they are dry.
Let us not use tradition to drink Yangona in Methodist Church premises. This was the statement made by Church President Reverend Dr. Peneri Vakandewavosa while opening the annual Methodist Church Conference at the Centenary Church in Suva this morning. Sainian Imboila reports the Reverend believes excessive consumption of Yangona in church premises remains an issue.
Yangona is still being consumed in church minister quarters and halls, despite an agreement that consumption should end by 10 p.m.
And Yangona is a very critical issue. If we are not careful enough, it will slow the process of the church.
Reverend Dr. Vakandewavosa says all church members need to adhere to the code of conduct in place.
This is one of our problems over the years. And we have a special book which has been printed and circulated to help our people to better their conduct. They manage their life soundly, good ethical decisions.
Meanwhile, another topic that was discussed during the conference is that the church for the first time is debt-free.
Sound management for the financial affairs of the church. And we are very glad indeed about that. And as we achieve that, I think it's very important to get that picture to the grassroots level. that the whole church, everybody from top down, to be sound in this financial management.
Ministers from the 58 Methodist divisions around the country are currently part of the week-long conference. The conference ends this Friday. Sainia Nimboila, FBC News.
The current Methodist Church President, Reverend Dr. Epineri Vakandewa-Vosa, has been re-elected for another year. This follows the completion of the executive elections this afternoon. Church Communications Secretary Wilfred Rengunamanda says the Reverend Vakandewa-Vosa turned 70 last month, and according to the Methodist Constitution, all ministers should retire at this age.
The Methodist Church in 2019 is the first president to have reached 70 years old while still in office, but he has one more year. So we have the constitutions and the regulations has its other explanations that allows him to be part of the candidate game in this election.
Prominent civil lawyer Shazran Abdul Latif has been remanded in custody by the Nasinu Magistrates Court. Latif, who was produced at a special court sitting on Saturday, has been charged with one count of possession of illicit drugs. He was arrested following a raid at his house on Nailuva Road, Suva, last week. Latif was allegedly found with a white substance, which later tested positive for methamphetamine, and dried leaves that tested positive for marijuana. His bail ruling will be delivered on Friday. A former Fiji National Provident Fund employee and another facing numerous charges in relation to an alleged FMPF scam have been remanded in custody until tomorrow. Jack Edward Hiramatsu, who formerly worked in the FMPF legal department, and Andi Mara Rufina Garnivalu, a former ILTLB clerk facing forgery charges, appeared in the Suva Magistrates Court this morning. Both appeared with 4 other people charged in court last week, but were remanded after the prosecution indicated that the investigation is ongoing. Women are considered as unsung heroes who have always been on the front line responding to crises throughout Fiji and the region. This was highlighted today during World Humanitarian Day as women's contribution in society during emergency and natural hazards was celebrated. Chosai Nanunga has more.
Women who have engaged in humanitarian work were recognized today.
Well, World Humanitarian Day is particularly special this year because the focus is on women in humanitarian response and women responders. And I'm really proud to work for an organisation that focuses on women responders and strengthens the work focused on women but also involving women in doing that work.
The event was marked by the International Planned Parenthood Federation, which prioritizes the welfare of women and girls during and after an emergency.
Some of that work will be around preventing gender-based violence and sexual violence, and also being able to refer women and girls who've experienced that sort of violence after an emergency.
The Reproductive and Family Health Association of Fiji is also associated with humanitarian work around the country.
Humanitarian response is so important, and we have invested in training nurses and doctors around the minimum initial service package. And many a times these are our unsung heroes. Many a times we do not acknowledge the help that they give us.
It has been proven that women also risk their lives to save others. With the words of Sir Winston Churchill, so much is owed by so many to so few. To these women, we salute you. Chosai Nanunga, FBC News.
Up ahead, Ministry warns crab sellers. And Legal Aid Commission gears up for Pacific Conference. Details after the break.
Hi, Bula. I'm Selai from Nandi. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, my name is Sotiama here in Ba. We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, I'm Miri. I'm from Lotoka and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Hi, my name is Fiona from Tavua and I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, I'm Ini from Rakiraki. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
The founding Pacific Legal Aid Regional Conference will be held in Fiji this week, aimed at setting a platform for future collaboration, networking, training and development. Legal Aid Commission Director Shaheen Ali says there may also be possible exchange of programs between Pacific nations in delivering of legal aid services. Kelly Vathala reports.
The conference will showcase the legal aid scheme of Fiji, discuss challenges and work towards improving current systems.
As the leader in the provision of legal aid services in the Pacific, Fiji is very proud to have come up with a concept of this conference and to create a platform where global organizations can collaborate to improve the provision of legal aid services.
Participants and speakers from the region and around the globe will be part of the conference.
Invitations have been extended to Cook Islands, FSM, Kiribati, Marshall Islands, Palau, Samoa, Solomon Islands, Tonga and Vanuatu. Outside the region, we have speakers from South Africa, Canada, Brazil, Europe, Tanzania and the Maldives. And they'll all come and share their global perspectives.
Telecom Fiji Limited has joined hands to support the event with ICT services.
Technology is an excellent way to achieve this. And with our increased push towards the provision of internet access to villages, schools and settlements in remote and maritime areas, we are certainly going to help a lot more Fijians in future.
The three-day conference will be held in Singatoka from Wednesday. Kelly Vathala, FBC News.
Any undersized crabs found being sold will be released back into nature and the sellers will face the law. Minister for Fisheries Semi Koroi-Lavesau made this reassurance after people were caught illegally selling undersized mud crabs in the past few weeks. The crabs must measure at least 5 inches across the shell to be legally sold. The minister says they must be given a chance to grow and reproduce to ensure survival of the species. The ministry has confiscated over 100 undersized crabs recently, and the minister says catching undersized crab sellers will remain a priority.
Source of livelihood. Of course, if they're catching legal sizes, then it's their source of livelihood. If they're catching undersized, then they are taking away the source of livelihood of future generations for their children, their grandchildren, and their grandchildren. So it's basically a factor that we need to conserve for future generations. That's the whole idea about it.
The contribution of several leaders in various spheres of life has made India into what it is today. Mahatma Gandhi was one such leader who guided India towards independence. Hence, this year's Independence Day celebration was more significant because it falls on the 150th anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi's birth. Kritika Kumar reports.
Fiji and India share a strong bond, and this was highlighted during the Independence Day celebration in Suva last night.
Since the establishment of our diplomatic relations, the government of India has stood by Fiji over the years and has been a great partner, assisting Fiji with its development needs.
India has also facilitated various development projects in the Pacific region.
I am pleased that the momentum of our relations has since gone from strength to strength, and I have no doubt it will continue to prosper in the years to come.
The Indian High Commissioner to Fiji says Indians around the world look at this day with satisfaction and gratitude.
This year, the Independence Day for India has come at a very special juncture, as this is also the year of the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi.
India celebrated its first Independence Day in 1947 when the then Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru raised the Indian national flag. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Turning overseas, peaceful protests have returned to the streets of Hong Kong, with hundreds of thousands taking part in demonstrations over the weekend. Those marching braving both the weather and warnings from Beijing. And it's business time now with Koroi.
Thank you, Jackie. Coming up, Digicel Fiji suggests social media giants should set up in Fiji. And in growing Fiji, safe drinking water for all by 2030. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Shamiza. And I'm Salma. We're from Nandi and we love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
My name is Rajnita Lata and I'm from Vatulaloba. और हम सब मिर्ची एफएम सुनता है because it's hot.
Hi, my name is Vinita. I'm from Lambasa. I love listening to Mirchi FM. It's number one.
हमारा नाम सागर रेड्डी है। हम लोग स्कूल में, हम लोग घर में और कहीं भी रहता हम लोग खाली मिर्ची एफएम सुनता। गोल्ड टाउन तावा में मिर्ची एफएम दागो मामा।
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Leading business tonight, Digicel Fiji believes it's high time that social media giants such as Facebook, Twitter, and other multi-million-dollar companies had a physical presence in Fiji. Chief Executive Mike Gregg says these companies remotely earn revenue via accounts of Fijians but have not invested in the country. Gregg says in developed nations, these entities have set up offices and are held accountable.
You know, the internet is both a threat and an opportunity, and we need to treat it as such. It can be a threat to the very fabric of our civil societies and the way we operate. It can be a threat to our children. And you can't counter the internet unless you can regulate them. So I would call on the government to look at regulating the internet. 3 things need to happen. 1, they need to be present in Fiji, just like Digicel. 2, they need to pay taxes like we all do. And 3, they need to be subject to the same regulations that we all are.
Gary from HFC Bank joins us now with the latest from the stock markets.
Thank you. Let's review the trading on the South Pacific Stock Exchange last week. About 11.9 million shares exchanged hands in 638 transactions with a total consideration of over $15.2 million. Adding to the radiance of trading activities during the week was the official listing of Port Denarau Marina Limited, or PDM, on the SPX. A total of 614 trades were noted for PDM alone. Fiji Television shares rose by 10 cents and closed at $4.50, while Port Denarau Marina shares further rose by 9 cents to $1.40. Furthermore, RB Patel Group Limited increased by 3 cents and settled the week at $8.10. With the price movements and new listing from PDM, the overall market capitalization rose by 1.62% and concluded the week at a value of $3.64 billion. And that's a wrap from our local stock market. Vinaka.
Here are today's exchange rates as set this morning. It was up and down day for the Fiji dollar. It was up against the Chinese yuan and down versus the US and Australian dollars, up against the Kiwi, down against the Kina, and rose versus the euro and the Japanese yen. Commodities were mixed. Oil prices rose about $55 a barrel, gold dropped to $1,509 per ounce, and silver closed down at 17.6 cents per ounce. In growing Fiji, the government is committed to providing all Fijians with access to safe drinking water by 2030. Currently, 78% of the population has access to clean and safe drinking water. The government aims to make this 100% in 11 years. The Infrastructure Ministry is working on achieving its 5- and 20-year national development plans.
In this regard, Fiji, through its 5-year and 20-year National Development Plan, has set an ambitious target of having 100% access to safe drinking water by the year 2030.
Johnny Usamate says this plan will also cater for those living in the interior of the larger islands.
Water Authority of Fiji has distributed more than 11,450 water tanks nationwide, of which 338 were distributed to the northern end of the province of Tele.
The ministry have been allocated $11.3 million in the new financial year for the nationwide water project. That's it from Business Tonight. Sports is up next with Jamie.
Thanks, Kuroy, and good evening in Sports Tonight. Flying Fijians resume training in Suva. And kids rugby mastery clinics begin. This and more coming up.
Natango merea, maramani waya manatuya sawa, aweti kitunde nandi ya undo marata kana baronga na Radio Fiji 1.
Yawa asna vatili, yawa maga Monica. Tondo baronga vale bunar domai biti lambasa.
Bula natango aprosa ngarse, ngor kraki. Do televisione na baronga na Radio Fiji 1, na domai biti.
Natango tsani bukia,
Ongoni namosi ando talita kana warong na Radio Fiji One nando me bitisu.
Radio Fiji One nando mo.
Will use its upcoming match against Tonga to test its combinations ahead of the Rugby World Cup. The match will be their final hit-out before its tournament opener against the Wallabies on September 21st. Faria Begum with more.
It is known like Samoa, Tonga will bring a lot of physicality to the table. Coach John McKee told us what their focus will be for this match.
What's really important for us, it's our last game before we play Australia, so it's really important that we get our combinations going, that we work on some of the things that we're going to work on against Australia.
McKee says the match against Tonga is Fiji's chance to execute their plans in a game situation.
Yes, we will have to deal with the physicality and match the physicality of the Tongan teams, but we also, want to impose our game. We want to build on the good work we've been doing in training, and probably in the PNC lacked a little bit of rhythm in attack, so we'll be looking for our attack to be a little bit more patient and reap the rewards with some tries.
Being selected to don the Fijian jersey for a third Rugby World Cup, 35-year-old Vereniki Ngoneva says the team gets stronger every time.
I think it's different this year. Last 2 years is different. Last two World Cup different from this year, because I know this year most of the boys they playing in overseas, and for us we know it's not going to be easy.
Fiji meets Tonga in their Pacifica Challenge match on the 31st of this month. Faria Begum, FBC Sports.
Her husband's well-being is always a big heartache for Margaret Atalifo, the wife of flying Fijians tight-head prop Leroy Atalifo. Margaret says not being able to be with her husband at all his matches is sometimes hard to deal with, but it's something she's become accustomed to. Faria Begum has more.
Margaret Atalifo, the young lass from Rotuma, says it's not about her husband being unable to play, but concern about who will look after him if he's hurt.
When he plays club rugby, he travels a lot, and I think you got to get used to it. And at some point, you got to have that faith, like he will go and play well and come back, no injuries and stuff.
Atalifo says she doesn't travel with her husband as much as she would love to because of their 2-year-old daughter.
I mean, at the moment she's 2 years old, and I can sense that whenever my husband comes back, Lee comes back from his rugby or training, she's so looking forward to give him a hug or just go and play with him.
She says she is excited about her husband's second World Cup outing, and the whole of Rotuma will be cheering for the boys during the World Cup. Meanwhile, Leroy's sister, Vera Atalifo, says her brother has made their family proud, but not having him around is one of the difficulties for their family.
Well, we miss him. Our Saturdays has never been the same because rugby is on Saturdays, so we go and watch him. But yeah, it's good.
The Atalifo family will be cheering their brother, son and father on for the 2019 Rugby World Cup. Faria Begum, FBC Sports.
The French rugby side is still waiting on the injury assessment of Fijian Virimi Vakatawa before deciding on his inclusion in their World Cup squad. Former Fiji Sevens star Isake Katanimbau, in partnership with the Fiji Rugby Union's development program, has launched the Kids Rugby Mastery Clinics. The clinics will be held in Lautoka and Suva during the school holidays. Katanimbau says the grassroots initiative, which partners with former elite rugby players, will conduct these clinics with the aim of educating and empowering young players.
We are doing this by sharing our knowledge, skills, and overall expertise honed over years of dedicated training and commitment to our craft. We know what it takes to start from humble beginnings and grow to the point of acquiring elite status, because it is a journey we have taken ourselves. Every single one of the former elite players who is now a part of AYI Rugby Initiative has brought smiles, laughter, and cheers to the entire Fijian community.
An enthralling second Ashes test has ended in a draw at Lord's. The result means Australia still lead the series 1-0, though England showed signs of improvement. In today's play of the day, Leicester City's Wilfred Ndidi went from villain to hero in the EPL clash against Chelsea this morning. After being at fault in the Chelsea goal, he redeemed himself by getting one back for Leicester. That's it from sports tonight. In new media, Motorola's latest phone has a genius solution for preventing vertical video syndrome. Details coming up.
रहता है, हमारा नाम उमेश कुमार, हम रहता है लेबू और रेडियो फीजी में हरदम सुनता है, बहुत पुराना गाना लगे और बहुत रोज तक सुनता है, बहुत अच्छा लगे हमको।
उमेश चंद्रा और कांता चंद्रा हमारा वाइफ है। हम लोग रेडियो फीजी 2 बहुत सुंदर से सुनता है, बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम, नंबर 1 रेडियो।
कुमार स्वामी नायक है, गोमगो लेबू लटो का रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे, हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
कुमार नाकाफी में रहता है, रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनता है।
रेडियो फीजी 2, देश की धड़कन।
In new media tonight, is there anything more annoying than when you accidentally record a video in a vertical aspect ratio? Motorola thinks not, because it's just revealed the Motorola One Action. Angie joins us now with the latest in weather.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. How was your lovely weekend? Well, if you are in the greater Suva area, you know what the weekend brought. Yep, rain. If you are in the west, you can brag about the sunshine. Anyway, it's the start of another fresh week. Now in the west, good sunshine with nicer spells in prediction. You are luckier on that side. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, days split into two conditions. The afternoon saw some showers. And up north, sunny as well with high chances of showers in the bag. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. For the tides, high tide at 9:22 p.m. with low tide at 3:24 a.m. Sunrise at 6:23. For tomorrow, outbreaks of rain and drizzle. It will turn out to be a finer day later on. Tomorrow's temps, cool days are here. Centers will hit high 20s. And looking further on to Wednesday, clearer spells on the forecast. Also, I'm just going to throw in a little excitement. Christmas is only 128 days away. And it's back to you, Jackie.
I see why the red. Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fiji Impulse segment tonight, we asked, has Sevu Reece done enough to make it to the New Zealand All Black squad for the World Cup?
Just by watching him play, it's enough to prove that he will play really well at the Rugby World Cup, so he should be considered for the All Blacks.
I think so. I think he's done enough. We've seen him play for Crusaders, and the 2 times he's played for the All Blacks now, and it's, I think he deserves to be in the squad.
No, he played exceptionally well. Yeah, he put his hand up, and he should be there. On 15, the World Cup team for New Zealand.
If he was able to display a good performance over the weekend, I believe there is no excuse as to why he can't play for the All Blacks in the World Cup.
He can make the squad. I personally think he should just represent Fiji, as he is Fijian, and there are always players who can already represent New Zealand to the Rugby World Cup.
Sevu Reece plays well, and he proved it as the week before last. New Zealand lost to Australia, and last weekend with the change in place, they won, and he can definitely make the squad to the World Cup.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, a 5-year-old boy looks to set the world record with his 15-foot beanstalk. Recapping the main stories for tonight, 6 killed by meningococcal so far this year. Kava consumption tops church meeting agenda. And prominent Suva lawyer remanded in custody for alleged drug possession. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. Our poll question segment last week, we had asked, should there be extra penalties for inmates caught with contrabands? 70% said yes. Now this week we're asking, are you happy with the 32-member Flying Fijians team named for the Rugby World Cup? Visit our FBC website to answer. And before we go, our shot of the day, a beautiful landscape between Lambasa and Sabu Highway, sent in by Shalini Prasad. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj. Share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. Follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
We love Today FM. Today FM rocks. Bulaminaka, I'm Linda Form. I studied Suva. I love listening to Today FM because they play latest music and they rock.
Hi, my name is Osnate. I'm from Ba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm Makereta from Nandi. We love listening to Today FM. Here in Nandi, it rocks.
Hi, I'm Shania. I'm from Lotoka and I love Today FM and it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.